I didn't even get to see what Ed exchanged.
Oh, it exchanged?
Yeah.
Crabcat says exchange OO, keeping Etna's.
Good play.
Those exchange two vowel things is always a debate that a lot of people have. I'm in the school that you should almost always be exchanging double vowels rather than playing them.
I agree.
I was gonna say that's one of the things that I heard from you a while ago, Kenji. Exchanging the two vowels in nearly every case.
There may be some cases where it's not worth it, but if so, they're very marginal.
Mm-hmm. So I'm guessing that Resonata or Radneys is best, even though Tanyas scores one more point.
I think it's.
Do you see any merit? Which do you prefer, Kenji?
Taking Kenji offline, so maybe second by Kenji first.
Oh, wait, why are you taking Kenji offline?
You're bringing Chris Lipe.
Oh, oh no.
Yeah, you can say bye to him.
Oh, Kenji, you're getting kicked off by Chris Lipe. What are your thoughts on that?
Unless he's already gone.
He's already gone! Oh. Oh, I feel very sad for Kenji.
Didn't get to say goodbye. This just makes me think of the Sam Smith song. He's way too good at goodbye. So good he doesn't have to say it.
But I didn't get to hear if he preferred Paenias or Resonata. And I feel like he would have interesting thoughts. Cool. QI's, your cheese is a clear choice.
Cheese is always a clear choice. At least for me, not for you.
Cheese is fine. Ooh, here's a nice double available. His rack is CLLRUYX. And he seems to have missed cruelly for 48.
I'm team Cruelly here for sure. Keeping that X to score with after.
Yeah, even Locks was maybe better than Cox. I'm not sure.
Nigel's got a cute little play here, which he's already lined up. Nevi.
He wouldn't have had much after Cruelly, eh?
Testing, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Wow, hello.
Hello,
all right.
Chris
Help.
Lipe.
This is me.
Oh, Chris, like, what do you think about having kicked off Kenji off the screen?
Yeah, Kenji's all right.
Mm,
He's got a lot of good insights about the game.
yeah. Do you also?
I don't know about that, but you know, hopefully
sure
I can
you-
be entertaining.
Yeah.
That's a good loaded question from you, Jason.
No, I'm sure you do, and you can also be entertained. This is going to be great. What are your thoughts on the game so far? This game or other games?
Pretty straightforward, I think. Let's see. Let me kind of catch up on what's been going on.
Mhm.
Yeah, Cruelly would have been cool, but
Yeah. Here,
So
Quackle
far-
Quackle prefers Yule, just leaving ELRS for 14. Some other options were YU. It's also swimming well, leaving ELRS, or Merly or Molly.
yeah, Yule sets up the row 15 hook. So it's, you know, kind of pushing your chips into the middle of the table when you have the better hand.
Oh, sorry, I meant Yule to the E of Erotema.
Oh, okay. That's
But-
different.
Head
Yeah,
Oculus
that
Jim
at least
direct-
also does
Go ahead, sorry.
that also does at least keep the row 14 hook open, which is useful.
Mhm.
If you're holding the
Okay.
S, you kind of don't want to shut down the S lanes.
Ed's done the recommended thing of pulling the blank early to a nice bounce rack.
It's yeah, usually the best tactics are, you know, pull the blanks early and get them down. That's a good strategy.
However, Nigel has one now as well.
Yeah, and he has a nice set of letters to go with it, so they should trade bingos here, I guess. Well, does Nigel have anything besides projects?
I don't think so. That's his only bingo. That would be 90.
There's nothing like projectile. No, nothing quite that fanciful.
Yeah, and then the chat's mentioned Ed's possibilities, like turfless. There's also sulfites. And yeah, Dallas is a really good find from the chat.
So it's always a difficult position. Like Ed's behind a bit, but he's got the blank and he's feeling really good. He's getting the bonus down, and then Nigel back with his own bonus. And now the blanks are gone, and you're basically in the same position. It's really kind of disheartening to have that sort of back and forth.
Yeah, I can take it.
Robin
He's a hearty
joined us in the
soul.
chat. Hello, Robin. She mentions it looks like a real slugfest, referencing a possible bonus from Ed's rack.
Do you think it's an A or an I, the blank? Probably an I, since you don't have to worry about a Q there.
Oh. Can anybody read his score sheet? My eyes aren't that good.
I'm gonna go with I.
So Nigel in the Worlds that just finished, where Nigel played Jesse Day, and even before the finals, we noticed Nigel tends to take the same amount of time for each play, and even if it's a really obvious play, this is the only bonus, he'll line his letters up in the order he's going to play them, and he'll sit there for about 45 seconds every single play, about the same amount of time, and then he'll put it down. And the speculation was at the time that he didn't want to give anything away by the speed with which he played. No idea if that's true or not. Obviously, he has no comment. But that's something strange that we noticed just watching Nigel's games in Torquay. So I think he's just done the same thing, basically. Projects lined up for about 45 seconds and then lays it down. So Nigel will never fast play you. You can pretty much take that to the bank.
Oh, that's insightful. I will not be able to stop noticing that now.
Kind of a variation on us talking about the challenges from Nigel, where you don't really see the insta challenge. You just hear the hold, and it's about 30 seconds later, and he hits the clock, and you're dead.
Yeah.
Chris, like, do you have any other Nigel stories?
I'm sure they'll come to me as the game unfolds.
Good.
He beat me 5 or 6 times in a row before I finally got one from him in Torquay. That was pretty much the highlight of my tournament. Well, not the highlight of my tournament, but one of them. Yeah.
Is Ed lining up boss that doesn't play anywhere just to impress us? Because he should probably play Ouija.
Ouija!
What?
It's a Ouija board.
It's pronounced Ouija?
Yes.
Why is it pronounced Ouija?
I don't know.
Huh.
Yeah, Ouija develops the board in a way that Ed's going to want. It opens stuff up.
Yeah.
Boss scores 26, and Ouija is 24, 22. So it's not giving up that many points, but it's positionally much better. Because it gives you, that 4 outlet to start developing the upper left quadrant. But we'll see.
Ba is also so bad. There's 5 eyes left, and I have to use.
Yeah, at this point you have row 3 into the R. Okay, that's fine. And you have some play is going to go down at 8A into that S to open up columns A and B, maybe C. And of course you have the S in 4th position for a 9-timer, but that's pretty soon. And I guess the N and the L column. And there's not that much. It feels like the board's going to collapse pretty soon, right? There's really not much play that's going to be around in like 3 turns. And Ed's a tempo behind, so I would be pretty nervous in Ed's shoes at this point, given the shape of the board. even though the scores are pretty close, unless you can draw a bonus pretty soon.
Mhm.
And if you can hit the C column and hook by the S or something like that.
The chat just
I don't know.
mentioned actually that Ed had a triple that was blocked.
It was interesting that Nigel lined up webinar and then thought about it for 45 seconds and then played swine. I'm also wondering what he was thinking about with swine. Like webs is, I guess, better positionally than webs.
Yeah, I wonder here, the natural play for Nigel seems like something to the end. Just play something ing, move tiles, score a few points. But, like, it's a bit weird, but it seems reasonable in terms of blocking stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, looking back at Ed's play, Quackle does not like high very much. His favorite is Euthan, which is a little bit odd, but Euthan does create like big spots in the lower right, so Nigel can't really block everything at once, especially his Z spots.
Yeah, it kind of creates an alternate opening that might be addressed, you know,
given that
to buy Ed another turn to hit a bonus.
Yeah. And given that Unite is not great, like you probably want to start scoring with high scoring tiles like the Z and the H. I don't know.
Giga holding the B is pretty interesting, because now you're setting up B column. And I don't know the tracking offhand, but there's not. There's, I guess, an M out.
There's D, G.
The C's are both gone.
D, G, and M, so that's pretty clever.
So, yeah. Yeah, it's one of the things that Nigel does really well. Like, you make a play such that it increases the value of your leave, you know, over a static evaluation. Like, the board position that you create makes the tiles that you hold more valuable. And that's basically the thing that Nigel's been, you know, eating lunch on for. He just does that better than anybody else.
Yeah.
And yeah, you think after Ba, he's probably not holding an M. That's a weird play to make if you're holding, you know, an M or something, or T. You know, maybe there's some synergy with a B, but you know, playing Giga holding the B seems pretty strong.
Some news for those of you who joined the stream a little bit later. I announced it really early when we started, but for those of you who don't know, this tournament is coming back 2 years from now, and Michael would love it if Team Canada was able to put together a team, and Team Pakistan possibly. So we've got a couple of contenders who could make a team, depending on how early we commit.
That's exciting to hear. Be great to see.
There's talk that would Team Canada have enough strong players?
I think so. Jackson is really close
Yeah,
to
they
2000.
were really close this time. I think they had 3 or 4 that were, strong players that were committed, ready to go, but they couldn't quite rustle up 5. And there were a couple who would normally go that just couldn't make it because of the scheduling things. So yeah, I think you have like Adam and Joel, maybe Jeremy and Tony Leah, and there's they can put together a pretty significant group of contenders.
Mm-hmm. This game is getting quite interesting. Aldrin was a nice play, leaving STZ. Certainly like sits there, but you wonder how much he gives back to Ed. I mean, it's keen insight by Nigel that the heavy tiles mostly that are in the pool mostly don't overlap that I, like the F, the W, the Y can't fit there.
Jeremy Hildebrand says, I want to play. We had 4 people ready to play and I was in. Yeah, I know. I want to play too. I enjoy doing this, but I'd enjoy playing even more. So let's see 2 years from now.
We'll take auditions for commentators today.
Well found by the chat and Ed of Retainer, which makes the game very interesting. But Nigel has a big Zo play. More Topaz.
And I just saw Sam Rosen's question about Team UK, and Colin answered it just now. 5 players couldn't be brought together for the tournament. And Michael actually talked about the yesterday as well. He said a lot of players had expressed interest, but one by one they all dropped off. So that is why that didn't happen.
What's the story of this game? Feels like Nigel has just been playing with Ed's emotions all game.
I think Cruelly would have changed the shape of the board
Yeah.
at that one point in time.
Yeah.
If I had to point to one move that I would have done very differently for Ed, it would have been that one.
Do we see any winning chances for Ed? Like if he plays dually, 32 leaving HTM, what could he draw?
Hello, I think I'm back.
You are.
All right. These intertubes work sometimes. And sometimes they don't. I see the Z has gone down my absence.
Mm-hmm. We were just talking about what we thought shaped the course of the game here. And I go with cruelly, or it not being played is a big difference.
Yeah. It's hard too if you just completely miss something like that. You kind of go through the whole game thinking that you're a step behind. You just didn't get the luck that you needed. You were and then afterwards when you analyze, you're like, oh no, actually, it's this out.
Yeah. Maybe the other story.
But you
of
spend the
this game
whole.
is- yeah.
Oh yeah, you
It
spend
is.
the whole game sort of in this emotional, battle with yourself over, uh, over your perceived injustice.
Yeah, the story here is I feel like Nigel's long-term, or just his foresight has been rewarded repeatedly. Like when he played Aldrin, I think most players would have played a Z play, but he kept his Z with his S and his T, very flexible, and then was able to capitalize with on top of a retainer. Same sort of the Giga, like he'd set up his B and then cash it in a way that might not have been possible if he didn't have a better rack. Or if he hadn't made this out.
Yep. What I find to be really interesting is all of the players who've been studying Nigel's games and watching him play and watching him do things like that, make plays like Giga and make plays like Aldrin, and trying to figure out, sort of the right way to set up your tiles and increase the value of your leave based on the, the board position you set up with your own play. And it's just kind of really interesting for the future of the strategy of the game to see the way that, I guess Nigel's innovations changed things.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's so sad that Ed has drawn every letter except a vowel, leaving one vowel in the bag. We've seen some really unfortunate last draws today in this table. Like when Esther drew
Everything but the blank.
everything but the blank. Getting unlucky.
And Nigel against Evans was fairly unlucky at the end there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I swear, 3 hours I just drawing. Stuff like that is, it just happens.
Chris Lipe, can you entertain us with more entertainment?
Let's see. This is entirely expected, but in Torquay between rounds, there was. I don't remember what the play was, but Nigel made one of his odd plays that he often makes, and so I tried to ask him about it. During the lunch break, I went up to him and I was like, "Can I ask you about such and such a play?" And he's like, "Yes." Well, what were you thinking? And he's like, "Well, and he just kind of demurred, didn't really give me an answer. He was like, "Well, I thought you might ask about that one." Didn't actually give an answer.
Oh. Yeah. Yeah, it's more fun to ask him about like bicycling, because then I'll actually talk to you about fun things, and then you can have a proper conversation that doesn't devolve into trolling immediately. A few minutes ago before this game, he was telling me how much gray hair I have. And then he was like, I thought you were 18. And I was like, I used to be 18. And he was like, I used to be 18 too. Then I asked him what he was like when he was 18, and he told me he was handsome and successful and rich. And he says that he lost it all.
That's hilarious.
Cool. So Nigel wins with 507 to 419. That was a show of force by Nigel.
Mm-hmm.
It was, yeah. It's crazy that every play led to the next in a very pleasing way from Nigel.